We're diving into the intricate world of Sovereign Syndicate, but is it truly worthy of your playlist? Let's find out. First things first, let's talk about the setting. Sovereign Syndicate takes us on a wild ride through a steampunk-infused Victorian London. But hold your airships and top hats, because this ain't your typical ballroom in Zeppelin steampunk. Instead, we're plunged into a gritty, gutter fantasy world where rat catchers and streetwalkers take the spotlight. It's a refreshing departure from the steampunk norm. Now, let's talk characters. Atticus Daly, a minotaur with a penchant for gin. Clara Reed, a courtesan sleuth with a mysterious agenda. And Teddy Redgrave, a dwarf engineer on a monster hunting spree with his steam-powered sidekick, Otto. These three bring a unique perspective to the peculiar London they inhabit, even if they're all part of the lower social spectrum. It's a diverse trio that adds layers to the storytelling, but be prepared for a somewhat abrupt ending that leaves a few loose ends untied. Sovereign Syndicate takes a page from Disco Elysium, both in presentation and gameplay. Combat is downplayed to the point of near non-existence, resembling more of a test of abilities than a traditional battle. Tarot cards replace dice, creating a setting akin to Arcanum or Shadowrun in a top hat. The absence of a character creation screen might seem odd at first, but the 4 versions of each character offer enough variety for replayability. It's a welcome break from the remorse of regrettable choices in lengthy RPGs. Decision-making is a crucial aspect, influencing bodily humors and unlocking different dialogue options. With 3 protagonists, players can experiment with bold choices, knowing the others will likely emerge unscathed. The lack of a conventional combat system allows action sequences to unfold in a comic-style format, enhancing the overall narrative flow. While Sovereign Syndicate draws inspiration from Disco Elysium, it takes a departure when it comes to character death and reloads. The game is more forgiving, employing hope points instead of hit points, creating a less intense climax. The absence of risk allows for interesting second playthroughs, exploring more vicious or cynical decisions. One standout feature is the replacement of dice with tarot cards for character traits and skill checks. The major arcana introduces unlockable character traits, while the minor arcana dictates numbered cards for skill checks. This not only adds an element of randomness, but also aligns seamlessly with the occultism trend of the Victorian era, enhancing the overall thematic experience. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Sovereign Syndicate stumbles a bit in its chapters. Some NPCs and storylines feel hastily wrapped up, and one of our protagonists, Teddy, unfortunately ends up feeling more like a bystander than an equal. It's a minor gripe in the grand scheme of things, but worth noting. Despite this hiccup, Sovereign Syndicate hits the mark for the majority of its runtime. Even if you're not a die-hard fan of steampunk, the blend of Victorian London and mythology is captivating. The glossary words sprinkled throughout the game, providing references to historical characters and Cockney slang, add an extra layer of depth to the narrative. So, is Sovereign Syndicate worthy of your playlist? The game's unique setting, compelling characters, and innovative gameplay mechanics make it a standout in the CRPG. Sure, it has its flaws, but the overall experience is well worth the journey. If you're a fan of narrative-driven adventures with a touch of the occult, Sovereign Syndicate deserves a spot in your gaming library. Until next time, happy gaming, and I'll catch you in the next video.